What if you lost everything tomorrow? I mean, seriously, your business, your clients, your reputation, all of it, just gone. Wiped clean. Would you even know where to begin again? It's a question I get asked all the time, in one form or another. People see the success now and they ask, that's great, but if you were back at square one, in today's world, would your game plan be the same? What lessons have you learned that would actually matter if you had to rebuild it all from the ground up? And you know what? It's a brilliant question. So I figured it's about time I answered it properly. In this video, I'm going to give you the honest blueprint. I'll look at the things I absolutely nailed the first time around and would do again in a heartbeat. But more importantly, I'm going to pull back the curtain on the mistakes I made. The areas I should have focused on sooner that would have saved me a world of pain and massively sped up my journey. This is the stuff that will help you accelerate your own career. Find those clients who are a dream to work with and get your head in the right space for success. So, as I'm going through this list, I want you to think about your own journey. Have a real think about where you might be getting a bit stuck. When something I say clicks with you, or maybe even stings a little, make a note of it. Chuck it in the comments below, because your feedback helps me create exactly what you need to hear next. And before we dive in, if you're serious about building a coaching career that truly lasts, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon. That way, you won't miss a single bit of advice. Right then, let us get into the 7 things I'd live by if I were starting over today. The very first thing is something I reckon I got spot on, almost by accident. When I first stumbled into coaching, I chose to work with businesses. I started helping online companies that were trying to build educational platforms. I fell into that niche because I knew a couple of people in that world, and it was my in. It made starting those initial conversations just that little bit easier. What I didn't realize at the time was that this choice gave me a massive, almost unfair advantage. You see, if you're a life coach or a health coach, your fees are often tied to what one individual can afford. You might start out charging 50 or 100 quid an hour. But when you're a business coach, it's a completely different conversation. You're not talking to one person's bank account. You're talking to a company budget. The decision might be made by a whole team. The execs, the HR department, the board. And in that environment, the fee isn't about your time. It's about the value you create. Think about it. If I could walk into a business and show them how my coaching could help them generate an extra $500,000 in revenue, asking for a 30 or 40,000 pound fee suddenly doesn't sound so crazy. In fact, it's an easy yes for them. It's a straightforward return on investment. It's just good business. This allowed me to build my income and my confidence much faster than I would have otherwise. But, and this is a big but, working with businesses also threw me into the deep end, and I wasn't quite ready for it. That brings me to my second big lesson. When I first started, I was pretty much winging it. I had some business sense, sure, but I had no idea about the complex politics, the hidden dynamics, and the sheer inertia that exists inside a company that isn't your own. And because of that, I failed a lot at the start. I had clients who lost interest after a couple of months, and contracts that just fizzled out. If I were to do it all again, I wouldn't just rely on guesswork. I would immediately invest in a structured, proven program that teaches you how to actually coach businesses effectively. Forget just a certificate for the wall. I'm talking about a proper toolkit. I would have looked for a mentor or a company I trusted, someone who was already getting incredible results, and learned their system inside and out. A great business coach isn't just a one-trick pony. You need to understand how all the pieces fit together. The people, the culture, the marketing, the finances, the systems. It's all connected. Having a holistic framework from day one would have been an absolute game changer. My third big focus would be on genuine connection, not just chasing numbers. This is a trap that so many new coaches fall into, and I walked right into it myself. You see all these slick online gurus with their fancy webinars and automated funnels, and you think, that's it. That's the secret. It looks so easy, doesn't it? Just create one amazing presentation, and clients will be lining up at your door. The reality, especially when you have no audience, is that it just doesn't work like that. I wasted so much time and energy trying to be a webinar wizard, only to realize my best work and my easiest clients came from simply sitting down and having a real, meaningful conversation with someone. Forget the shiny objects. Forget trying to be everywhere on social media. I'd tell my younger self to just focus on having one brilliant conversation at a time. The rest will follow. Now, the fourth piece of advice is one I want you to really listen to. If I started again today, I would charge more. Lot more. And I know that sounds like generic advice, but let me tell you a story. When I began, I thought that asking for £10,000 for a year of coaching was an insane amount of money. I'd worked it out. I'd do about 50 calls with them over the year. If I got 10 clients, I'd be making 100 grand. Seemed like a solid plan. Then one day, I was at an event, pitching my services to a CEO. I took a deep breath and told him my fee. It's £10,000 for the year, I said, trying to sound confident. He just stared at me with this confused look, as if I'd said something in another language. He leaned in and said, "Sorry, run that by me again." I started to wobble. 10,000 for the year, I repeated. "But we can do a payment plan if that helps." I cut me off. No, he said. "Did you just say 10,000 for a asterisk?" "Year, asterisk." I nodded. He just shook his head and said, "Mate, you need to do better." Honestly, nobody had ever said that to me before. It completely threw me. After a few seconds of panic, I thought, right? What have I got to lose? Okay, £15,000 for the year. He just looked at me, almost disappointed, and said, "You're getting warmer. Do better." By this point, I was a mess. My palms were sweating. I thought he was just taking the mick, so I just blurted out, £20,000. He let out a big sigh, rubbed his face and said, "Good grief. You're just not getting it, are you? Do better." At this point, I was convinced he was just winding me up and was about to walk away laughing. I thought, sod it, I'm all in now. I looked him dead in the eye and said, "All right, fine, £25,000. He finally cracked a smile. He said, "Look, I'll pay you the 25 grand. We'll work together for the year. Send me the details. But I want you to work on this. You can do better." I learned two massive things that day. First, there are genuinely kind people in the world who want to see you win. He could have just taken the cheap deal, but he chose to teach me a lesson instead. And the second thing I learned is that we can all do better. I had a self-imposed limit on my value that was completely imaginary. I went from 10 grand to 25 grand in about 5 minutes because someone pushed me. So the next time you're about to state your fee, I want you to hear my voice in your head. Hoost bumpy up, ask yourself, what's my do better number? Of course, when you try to do that, you're going to come face to face with all your own insecurities. Your brain will scream at you. You'll hit a money ceiling, a confidence ceiling, all these invisible walls you've built around yourself. And that's where my next piece of advice comes in. You have to be constantly, relentlessly working on yourself. We get into coaching because we love growth, but then we get so bogged down in the day-to-day grind that we forget to grow ourselves. If you don't do the inner work, you'll keep hitting those same ceilings again and again. You have to find an environment, a mentor, a community, something that constantly challenges you to become the next version of yourself. This leads perfectly to my sixth point. Focus on transformation, not just information. When I started out, I thought my job was to be an information vending machine. I believed that if I just gave my clients some new, groundbreaking piece of knowledge, their whole world would change. But I quickly found out that information alone is pretty much useless. It's like knowing exactly what you should eat to be healthy, but still reaching for the crisps every night. We all know what we should do. The challenge is actually doing it. Your job as a coach isn't to give more information. It's to create an environment where a real transformation can happen. A brilliant coach focuses on the fundamentals. They simplify everything. I've worked with companies far bigger and more successful than anything I'd ever built on my own. I was able to help them add millions to their bottom line, not because I was smarter, but because I could cut through the noise. I could take their massively complex problems and break them down into simple, foundational principles. They don't hire you because they lack talent. They have plenty of that. They hire you for your perspective. They need someone who can help them see the picture that they're too close to see. And that brings me to the final thing, the one piece that ties it all together. If I were starting over, I would commit to my dream, fully and without reservation. For a long time, I had this vague idea of building a freedom-centered coaching business. I love my freedom, and I wanted a career that gave me time for my family, my friends, and my travels. But for the longest time, it was just a nice idea. I was just throwing things at the wall to see what would stick. It was only when I truly committed, when I said to myself, "This is what I am building, period," that everything started to change. Once I committed, I could make clear decisions. My actions, my mindset, everything aligned with that single goal. Today, I run a business that is completely centered around freedom. I work with a very small number of clients each year, putting in just a handful of one-on-one coaching hours, and it creates a fantastic life for me and my family. That reality only started to form when I stopped hoping for it and started building it with intention. So my invitation to you is to stop thinking you'll be a coach one day. Commit to it today. Commit to the impact you want to have, the income you want to earn, and the life you want to live. So, there you have it. My 7 core principles for starting again. Just to quickly recap, we talked about starting in the business niche, getting a proper proven system instead of winging it, focusing on real conversations, charging what you're actually worth, constantly working on your own mindset, aiming for transformation over information, and finally, committing completely to your dream. Which of those 7 really hit home for you? Which one made you sit up and think, "Yep, that's me right now"? Let me know in the comments below. I'd genuinely love to hear from you. And if this has sparked something in you, give this video a like. Thanks so much for tuning in. I have this part saved, and I'm ready for the next piece of the script whenever you are. Just send it over, and I'll continue the story seamlessly. Your time is coming. Keep believing. Keep fighting. Don't just watch. Go out and prove them wrong. Thank you for being part of the journey. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.